Well, hello, hello, hello again. It's Wednesday. And what does that mean? It means that we have a free with purchase class just for you. And today it's a very special one because there's only a few ways you can get a hold of the product that we're looking at today. And we're going to talk about that too. I'm Michelle. I am the head of Harmony Stamps with Michelle, and I run card making classes. I do all kinds of fun things, kit togethers, things like that. And I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And so the products I use are primarily Stampin' Up products. And I use those because I'm in love with them. I think their quality is really amazing compared to the stuff I can get in other locations. And certainly I can get some of it for less money, but it's definitely not the same quality. And when I'm making cards, I really want them to be that kind of high quality card that when somebody gets that handmade card, they're going to know it's an amazing card. And one of the ways that I do that is because I joined Stampin' Up. And that meant that I got to get a discount on all of my purchases as long as I remained qualified as a demonstrator, which is not that hard to do. It's just $300 a quarter, which can be done either on personal purchases or, by gathering together some friends to make a purchase every quarter or so, or even break it up into monthly to get to that $300. And that's retail amount. So your actual price on it is 75% of that. So that's not too bad. But in any case, it's also not a requirement to remain a demonstrator. You can join and become a part of the team, get that discount, and take advantage of it until it no longer fits your needs, and let it go. And then if it comes back again because you want to get more discount, then you join again. There's nothing stopping you unless, of course, you do something against Stampin' Up policies and get removed as a demonstrator for specific things. So that's all pretty awesome. But what's the most awesome is our join special right now, because that join special just for the rest of the month, which is not that long. So a week from today, it's November. So we have until Tuesday at midnight to take advantage of this join special. And so that's why I really wanted to bring that information back to you today. It's because it's our 35th year anniversary, it's either 35% less or 35% more. You get to choose what meets your budget and needs the best. So what does that mean? Well, normally our starter kit's $99 plus tax. Shipping is always free on your starter kit. And you get $125 worth of product that you get to choose. It can be anything you want as long as it doesn't go over that $125 and is within $5 of that limit, basically, on the underside. So that leaves you quite a lot of choices. In fact, you can get everything we're working with today and then some on that $125. Now, the other fun thing is, because of the join special, the 35% less means that instead of paying $99, you can pay $64.35 and still get the $125 worth of product to choose from. So that's 35% off of the $99 that you would normally pay. So then 35% more is you get to pay $99, but instead of $125, you get to pick $168.75 worth of product. And again, you can get everything that's available on the pre-order for the online exclusives that are going to go live on November 7th on your starter kit order if you choose to decide to join. Why would you want to join? Well, honestly, because it's a lot of fun. We do card making together. We have fun. We socialize. We exchange ideas. We, basically, there's a word I'm looking for and it's just escaping me, but encourage each other. But, I'm influenced by other people's designs, and it may make me think of something that I would love to try and create and things like that. And kind of hearing about other people's creative processes can kind of help me kind of figure out some other creative processes that might help me be more creative and things like that. And so those are the really awesome things that come with being a demonstrator. There's tons of others, and I would love to chat with you about that. So if that's something you're interested, let me know. But keep in mind, everything that we're looking at today, product-wise, you can order on your starter kit if you decide to join. That's right now one of the only ways that you can get this product before November 7th, because it will not be available to regular customers until November 7th. So what's that product? Well, it is the Meandering Meadow Suite, which includes this garden meadow stamp set and dies. So it's a bundle. This amazing paper that we're going to look at. These lovely birds and dragonflies, adhesive backed embellishments. Let me grab one more thing. And this pecan striped ribbon. And that, I believe, is everything in this kit, or not kit, but suite. Okay. We're just going to be using the paper, these embellishments, and the stamps, and just the stamps today. However, you can get all of it in your starter kit if you decide to join. So let's look at this amazing paper. It is a scenic pattern, and this one is the top page, and I've seen a lot of people use this. I'm probably going to maybe be using it on my one for Sunday, for my video that I'll be doing Sunday. But this is absolutely beautiful paintings. I think I heard it was done with chalk, so pastels originally, and then photographed, which is what gives it that grainy kind of texture and, you know, the kind of fuzziness. And the backs are these great little awesome, you know, color plushes. Oops, let's look at that one a little bit better. So much more neutral and less scenic. Love that pretty peacock in there. And then this is going to be in one of the cards that we're working on today. And this is absolutely amazing paper. This is also going to be on one of the cards we're working on today. It's beautiful, beautiful paper. I love that cloudscape on the back of that one. And this is the last one we'll be working with today. So we're working with 3 sheets of this amazing paper. Another great cloudscape on the back. And then I love this floral on the back. Looks much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Defined on my camera than it does to the naked eye, but it's beautiful either way. So those are the different papers. There's 4 each of those in this package of paper. And one of the things I like to do when I get a new stamp set is I like to kind of stamp it out in just a neutral ink so that I can see what exactly I'm working with. So there's this watering can, these gardening tools, this basket of flowers, these quail, this adorable fence, the boots, the wheelbarrow. So obviously these, you know, are going to need coloring if you want to have them, other than this, you know, if you want to fill them in. You don't have to. And you'll see I did color these, but I did not color the boots in one of the cards that I did. And then these great little sentiments: thinking of you, happy birthday, I can't imagine having a better friend, hello, and every day is a fresh start. I also like to do the die cuts. So this is all of the dies cut out that come in this bundle. So this is an archway that's stitched, but it also stitches and creates the archway as a negative space in the paper you cut it from. So it can be used in a multitude of ways, including popping that up. So, you know, you could have this popped up and sitting within the frame that way as well. Then there's this colored fence panels. So if you just die cut the gate, you could lay this over to give it that texture and detail. But I also wanted to see what it looked like stamped. So I stamped and die cut it. So literally we could just turn it over and see how it works this way without the stamping in the background. So it just gives you more detail and more texture. There's the boots, the buttering can. It looks like my fork has gone missing. Easy to do. Oh, there it is. See, I knew I had it. This adorable wheelbarrow, which you can color. The quail, this little bit of flowers, this basket with the flowers. And then there's these bottom ones, which are very interesting. There are ways that you can layer and use to create grassy layers and things like that. And then this could be used for bushes in the, you know, so if you're looking out the window, you could have some bushes down there in the background and things like that. It can be very fun and interesting. And then this, of course, is a grassy layer. And you can do different things with it to kind of give it differing looks and things like that. So that's what the die cuts look like when they're cut out. It's always fun to kind of see what you're going to be working with so that you know what you want to use. So let's work on the cards that we've got today. Getting all my little bits together. And we're going to start with, that wasn't the card I planned on starting with. There we go. We're going to start with this card, which uses that echinacea kind of flower here in the foreground, the trees. I did like using the two different birds and the dragonfly as embellishments. Let me see. Yeah, there you can see them better all on there. And I used fresh freesia as my base layer and Highland heather as my matte layer. And of course, the designer series paper to make an amazing card. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some adhesive on the back of my designer series paper. It doesn't take a whole lot. And then I'm going to layer it onto my Highland heather. It's just got an 1/8 of an inch around. So it gives you that little pop of that little purple, but not a ton. Okay. And then I'm going to use this across the bottom of my paper that's going to be my inside layer. So I'm just going to run a strip of adhesive across the bottom there and line it up in this corner. Kind of tack it down a little bit. I'm not pressing hard, just barely, until I got it lined up where I want it. When I like it, then I press it down the rest of the way. Going to get my snips. Cut off that extra little bit. And then we're going to stamp in fresh freesia. I can't imagine having a better friend. Get some of this out of my way. So we're just going to do a tap, tap, tap. Make sure we have some good ink coverage on our stamp. And I like it kind of right up near the top in the center. And lift off, and there we go. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I'm going to use my Stampin' Chamois to clean my stamps. I'm going to close up my ink, even though we're going to need it again. I don't want to get my card in it accidentally. And then I'm just going to put some seal on the back of that. Open up my card base and put it in the center of that back layer. And because I barely got it touching the paper, I'm able to move it around a bit. And when I'm happy with where it's at, I just give it a good press. All right. This is going to go up with Stampin' Dimensionals. Oops, we don't need that little baggie. I like to keep my extra punches and die cuts that are small for specific things in those so that they are easily accessible when I need to craft. Now when I'm doing a full face card layer, I like to make sure, actually I think I want 2 more. I want to make sure I have full coverage for support for that layer so that it doesn't sag in the middle. It's nothing worse than sagging matte layers on your cards. And since I love purple so much, I decided I wanted to use up some of my purple paper. I'm going to make sure I've got the opening correct and my image going in the right direction. And then I'm going to, again, we've only got just about 1/8 of an inch. When I got it where I want it, I'm going to press it down. And then I'm going to use these lovely, lovely embellishments. I'm going to grab up this dragonfly, and I have him like investigating this, this little flower right here. Press him down. And I'm going to grab one of these birds, and I have this one flying off in that direction in the sky. And then I'm going to grab the diving bird, and he's going to go after some bugs in those trees. And I think I had him on a steeper angle in the original, but it's all good. Whatever works for you. And there's our first card complete. Now remember, when you make a purchase of $35 in my store using the host code that's scrolling down below, and you also, or it's also in the description of my of the video. Words are hard. Then you would make that purchase of $35 or more before shipping and taxes, and then you will get all of the paper supplies and the embellishments to create these cards. You'll need to provide the stamps, the ink, the adhesives, but everything else I will provide for you. So the paper will be pre-cut and ready to create and craft. All right, so the next one we're going to do is this lovely one. I love blue flowers. They make me very happy. And once again, I did use all 3 of the embellishments on this card. Oh, let's look at the inside too. So I used the strip of paper going this way because of the way I cut it for this card. And I used those boots, and I did not color them in, but I did create this little, puddle shadow thing underneath so that it would be grounded. So I'm going to grab out my supplies. Let's go ahead and start with the interior. I'm going to run a strip of adhesive down the outside edge on the right. I'm going to line up from the top down because I like having more of this than the bottom. So I'm going to go that way. If I like the bottom more, the paper on the bottom more, then I would go the other direction. And you can see I didn't quite like my placement there. So I did a little twisty thing to help release the glue from the paper. Line it up really good, and I've already pre-cut this one to size, so it is ready to go. We're going to get our basic gray out, and I'm going to stamp my boots first, tapping in the basic gray, and get those settled in place in the corner. And then I'm going to give them a surface to be on with this little puddle shadowy thing. There we go. Close that up. Get out our fresh freesia and our happy birthday stamp, which is not that one. There it is. And get that inked up nicely. And we'll place that one on the top center-ish area. Beautiful. And close that up one more time. It'll come back out again. All right. So we're going to put some seal on the back of that. I love the seal because it's so fast. I do like my multi-purpose glue as well, especially when I need a little bit more time to make sure I've got my placement exactly the way I want it, or if I'm working with really small detailed things and I'm not using adhesive sheets. That would be the other reason that I would not use the seal. But otherwise, I use the seal. I'm going to put the designer series paper on our matte layer here. Yeah, let's go back to the other side. I'm just looking to see which side looks best before I put the paper on it. Sometimes when you're cutting, it gets a little rough, which is, you know, why I changed my blades. You can see I've still got a little bit of an owie. It is finally now closed up and not opening anymore, so yay for me on that one. All right, I'm going to put my dimensionals on the back of this matte layer here. And the corner there. Now you can see here I'm almost out of this one, but that's okay. We have our methods. We like to not waste anything. So those edges, although they're not shaped all pretty and fancy like these little hexagons, they work quite well. So we want to make sure that our image is matching the way we want it to match when we open the card. And then we're going to place the card down, the matte layer down. There we go. And then we're going to put our embellishments on. I'm going to start with a dragonfly down here. And I have him exploring this little flower. Now I'm going to grab this upward flying bird. He's going to be coming out of the trees. And then my diving bird is going to be looking for some food down there. There we go. All right. And our second card is done. Wow. We're only, what are we? 20 minutes in. And, you know, a lot of that was talking, not just actually crafting. So our final card that we're doing today is this one, which has this pretty little floral foreground, the trees in the background, and then, of course, the sky and the mountains in the deep background. And then I have one single embellishment on this one. And on the inside, I have Thinking of You with some of that, the back of this page of paper with the skyscape, and then the quails, which I have colored in with blends. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let's go ahead and do some of our gluing just to get things out of the way. And this is just like all the other ones. We're going to line it up. When we're happy with where it lands, then we press it down. I'm going to go ahead and put my dimensionals on the back. I'm not going to put it on the card just yet, but all right. So now we've reached the end of the ones that we can easily pull out. So I'm just literally going to take and cut through this little band here and right there. And that's going to give us basically the same thing. Just a slightly different shape, but it's all going to work quite well. All right. Actually, let's go ahead and put it on. It's not going to hurt anything. Static sometimes makes those backings not want to go anywhere, except right where they are. Okay, so once again, we're going to make sure our opening is correct for the direction we're placing our image. We're going to line it up where we're happy with it. And down we go. Let's go ahead and put our flying bird up on the top there since we're here doing it. And he's just, again, leaving that wooded area, heading, you know, for some fun in the sun. All right, so this layer, we're going to put some glue across the top. I didn't get any on that edge, so I'm going to pull it out a little bit further. And then so you can see this is the page, the paper from there. Okay. And actually, no, from there. Or is it on this side? Ah, there. But I want the skyscape that's on the back. So I'm going to turn this so I can see better what I'm doing with the lineup. Make sure I'm on the edge, but not over, and cut off that excess. All right. And then we're going to stamp the interior. I'm going to use the basic gray for both. I'm going to stamp Thinking of You right here in that basic gray. And again, when you're first working with photopolymer stamps, the first time you use them, you want to kind of condition them by stamping on some things pretty well at first, just to give them a good amount of inking when you are ready to start using them. And then I'm going to take this little quail and put them down here in this corner. We're going to clean all of our stamps because I forgot to clean on the last round. Oops. So I'm going to get my Stampin' Chamois. This is just a nice little spongy chamois cloth that is moistened. And, you know, when you're done, when it's time to clean it, you just run it under water and give it a good squeeze out until it runs clear. And so this is really handy. You can even cut it into little pieces and use it like that to get into some of those little corners when you have more detailed stamps as well. Okay, so now we need to color our pigeons. I base this on, not pigeons, our quail. Oh my goodness. On a specific kind of quail. And so this is the male because the males have more color on them. And I like to start towards the top. And because this is so small, I'm using the, instead of the brush end, I'm going to use the fine tip end for all of my coloring. I don't have to be super, super careful, but I do like to, you know, not be too far out. So I'm just going to kind of give him a little crown of this copper clay, and it is the light copper clay that I'm using here. And then we need the light black, basic black, because he's got a little black chin that kind of comes down here. There's definitely some white space between. And then we're going to use our dark boho blue and color in the little artistic lines that the artist already gave us and give us a little shading down there. Okay, now we're going to take our light boho blue and fill in the rest. We're going to get a little bit on his chest here and up to that the black line on his chin. And this is a good daddy. He's taking care of the babies. All right, you don't want to get too close to the edge because it does bleed out a little bit. And all right, and then for the underside, I'm going to use wild wheat. I'm going to get the dark one and again fill in those shaded areas to give it some shading. And then we're going to use the light wild wheat on the underside. Now, these aren't an exact color match, but it is a good approximation to what I was seeing. And the picture I saw actually had a male quail with the babies. I wasn't expecting that. All right, so for the top side of the babies, we're going to use pecan pie. I'm going to use a little bit of the dark in around the wing area. And then just a little bit across the back side. And this one has a little bit more coloring. And then we're going to use the light pecan pie for the rest of the top half of the little guys. Just to give him that dark upper side, which little babies tend to have. And then for the underbelly, we're going to use crumb cake. And again, we're going to start with the dark, give us some shading. And then we're going to come in with the light to fill in the rest and blend it. There we go. Our pigeons are done, and they come with their own little dark spot to go on the ground. All right, so now we're going to put some adhesive, and as you can see, when you're using blends, because they're alcohol markers, they do soak through even our really amazing basic white cardstock. So it's always good if you're going to be using blends to have that as a layer that is layered on top of other layers so that it doesn't show through on your final design. There we go. Got it lined up where I like it. Yep. Seal it down. And there's our last card. Fairly quick and easy. And again, if you make that $35 purchase in my store using that host code, you will get the supplies to make 2 of each of these cards. As far as the paper supplies and embellishments go, you'll need to provide your own stamps and your own inks and your own adhesives to make that work. But you will get everything cut out and ready to go. And it is some beautiful, amazing paper. I'm sure you'll agree, especially when you have it in your hot little hands. And don't forget, you can get it into your hot little hands faster than the majority of people who have to wait until November 7th to even put their order in. You can get it sooner than that by Stamping Up and joining my team. I'd be happy to have you. If you want to just hang out and be friends and make cards and be a hobbyist, that's perfectly a-okay. But if you also want to build a business, I am building a business and would love to have you along for that as well, and work with you on learning the same things I'm learning on how to make this a very good business for me and you. So that 35 less or 35 more deal, if you want some more information, please reach out to me. Email, text, you can even, Facebook message me. I'd be more than happy to chat with you, sit down over some coffee and answer your questions, help you figure out the ideal kit for you if that's what you want to do, your ideal starter kit, and all of that. So if you want this, go ahead and put that order in by Tuesday at midnight. I will be doing another video on Sunday around 2 Mountain Time, where I'm going to show you something else you can do with this suite. I haven't even designed it yet, so it's going to be a surprise for both of us. I hope you have an amazing day and an amazing rest of your week, and let's finish out October strong.